something, it's almost like you're obligated that if you don't buy her something, you're a bad son or daughter. And a lot of times that puts stress on people, especially people who maybe don't have the money to purchase things, to buy, flowers and cards and gifts and chocolates. And they were doing a survey, and people spend, that typical American, typical person here in the US spends about $169 on Mother's Day. And this country profits on this day and makes about or over $20.7 billion. So we're talking about that, nobody's going to stop. Companies aren't going to stop. The government isn't going to take it off because they're making money off of it too. People spend money and they gain profit from it. But what I want us to think about today is, and especially, for the husbands and the children, is today, the only day you say, Mom, I love you? Is today or yesterday the only day you give your mom a hug and say, thank you, Mom, I appreciate everything you do? And, we are so stuck on this that it's just on one day, and it shouldn't be. It should be every day. It should be all the time. And, I didn't know about how all this started, about how the holiday, the roots of it. But I had always thought, well, maybe it was just the government who implemented this, that they came up with the holiday to make money. And I would always think, well, it shouldn't be like that. And when I found out that, where it came from and what these women were trying to do, that they were trying to educate mothers, that they meant for it to be more of an intimate thing between families to honor the mother, to give thanks and honor them, but not to make it something that was, that stores were gaining profit off of. They never meant for it to be, a time where you had to buy something or else you weren't doing the right thing. And, that's how I have always thought of it. That Mother's Day shouldn't just be just one day. You shouldn't just say, oh, Mom, I love you on one day. Not even 2 days, not even just in 1 week of the year. You should say it all the time. It should come from your heart. It shouldn't be just because, oh, well, everybody's saying it. Well, now I have to say it, like, let me go tell my mom and hug her. It shouldn't be like that. It should come from your heart. It should be like that all the time for you to embrace your mother and to, tell her how grateful you are. Because, mothers do a lot. And I'm not a mom yet, but I helped my mom with my 2 younger brothers. And even them, my mom will talk to them and they'll be like, Mom, can you please have another baby? And she's like, no, why? And they're like, because I want a sister. She's like, you have a sister. They're like, no, we don't. So for them, it's like, they sometimes don't even see me as a sister, but I understand because I would be strict with them like a mom would, And even when Jason and I got engaged and, all of our family was there, and my youngest brother came and he sat down and he's like, so, Jason, does this mean you're going to be my dad? and I'm like, no, it means he's going to be your brother-in-law. But he had that mentality like, oh, my sister's getting married, so he's going to be my dad. So, and that goes to show how you influence, even though they're my brothers, but I had a big impact on them. I was influencing their lives. They were seeing me as more than just their sister. And when you read the Bible, you read about all types of women in the Bible. Great women, powerful women, women who influenced and impacted, this world in an amazing way. And then you read about the ladies who, who let us down in the Bible. And, it's for the moms on this day, what type of mother do you want to be? What type of influence do you want to have on your children? Children watch everything. They're watching parents constantly. And, sometimes my brothers, they'll do things or say things, and I'm like, why do you say those things, especially in public? And then I hear my mom saying those things, and I'm like, oh, that's why, they're getting it from her. So kids absorb everything. And kids look up to their mothers, and as a mother, you have to be a mother that is influencing them in a positive way. My brothers, after our wedding, they told my Mom, I want to get married. And they already planned out their wedding after our wedding. And they're boys, which is the weird thing. Usually that's the girl who does that. But they sat down with her, and they're like, I want to have a wedding like Maira's, and do this and do that differently. And they already daydream about their wedding. And for me, I'm like, well, good. You need to have that goal that you're going to get married, and, you're going to have your wife, and you're going to do the right thing and get married. And, it's like, for me, it's like, well, at least, I feel good because I'm having a positive impact on them. Maybe when I was younger, I didn't. I know I didn't. I know I wasn't doing the right thing, and I know that they were looking at me and seeing, not a good person. I wasn't influencing them correctly. And, so I'm happy that now when I hear them talk about certain things, that they speak about the good things, that they have kept the good things, and that they don't say, oh, I want to drink like Maira when she was young, because who wants to hear that, who wants to hear that from their kids, or in this case for me, from my siblings. And as I was meditating, and as I was thinking about this day, and I was asking God, what do you want to give us today? What do you want me to learn from this day? What do you want me to take from Mother's Day? And one thing that kept coming to my head, and it's very typical in the Hispanic culture, this saying, and it's usually from the moms, and it was that, I don't know how many of you have your mom said it to you, have you said it to somebody, or, but typically you hear moms saying, what you do in life, or what you have done to me, you will pay eventually one day with your own kids. And my mom has said that to me. She's like, vas a ver, Mayrita, vas a ver. Todo lo que me haces, tú lo vas a pagar cuando tengas tus hijos. And I was meditating on that, and God told me that we shouldn't say that. That we shouldn't say that. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, why? If, what we do has consequences. And I asked him, and he told me, because if you have changed, what you did in the past is what the dead person did, what the old person did. And, you have left that in the past. Why are your children going to do that? Why? And I started thinking about that, and I'm like, that's right. I have declared that my children are going to be children of God. When I was growing up, I didn't grow up in a church. I didn't. I mean, I was Catholic, but for me, Catholic was being really nothing, because my mom would send us to church, and we would sneak out and go play on the playground. So, I wasn't anything. I didn't grow up in a church. And I have set that vision for our children, that our children are going to serve God from the moment they are born, even before that, and I said, that's true. My children, they're not going to make the mistakes that I made, because I have declared that I have cut all of that out of the generation that is to come. And I want to tell the mothers that, don't say that, because you're cursing not only your children, but your generations to come. You're telling them, you're confessing with your mouth. And then, trust me, later on when you see your grandkids going down the same path your kids went, it's going to feel bad. You're going to feel worse probably. And you shouldn't say that. And I want to make that a goal, that is cut from the culture, in general. to not be saying that, to not be, telling your kids those things, to not be declaring those things in the life of your children. And I would like for all of you to please go to Proverbs 31 in this morning. And we're going to be reading in verse 25. So it's Proverbs 31:25. Once again, that's Proverbs 31:25. And we read it in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And it says, "Strength and honor are her clothing, and she can laugh at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and loving instruction is her tongue. She watches over the activities of her household and is never idle. Her sons raise up and call her blessed. Her husband also praises her. Many women are capable, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. Give her the reward of her labor, and let her works praise her at the city gates." I want you, mother, to take this as yours. There are many women that are capable of doing what any woman does, of raising a family. But you, in this day, you have to say it to yourself, you surpass them all. Because you fear the Lord, because you worship the Lord, because you are going a step above and beyond than the rest. You are an amazing person. And you have to think about that, that not only do you do what every other woman does out in the world, you do more than that. And, for the family, we have to honor our mothers. How can we not? Even if they have made mistakes, you know what? Who cares? We all make mistakes. We all do. We can't, I can't tell my mom, "Mom, why did you remarry? Mom, why did you do this?" I can't tell her that. I mean, if it was a mistake, it was a mistake. God forgave her. And, if God forgave her, then I have to forgive her and get it out of my heart, get it out of my mind, and move on. Because we all make mistakes. All of us do. And, my mom, she's a very funny person. I look at my brother, my older brother, the one who came here, and we always talk about how he jokes so much and how he's always, teasing people and things like that. And my mom's like that too. My mom is the person who can laugh at things, who can joke around, who can have that type of relationship, that she'll joke around and she'll, she won't take things offensively. And I'm so grateful for that. But, there are times where that we just run from her because, we avoid her because she's really angry or, she's not feeling good and things like that. But even in those moments, you have to love your mom. You have to thank God for your mom because you don't know what moms go through. You don't know how much effort they put into everything they do. You don't know how many things they do that you don't even see them doing. And that's why you have to honor your mom every day, not just one day or 2 days a year, not just because it's a holiday or, just an occasion is that you're going to say, "Mom, you know what, I love you." And you know what's the nicest thing? That when you get, let's say, I bet a lot of people gave flowers to their mothers yesterday or today. But the nicest thing for mom, I think, is to receive things when she least expects it. For her to receive a gift or flowers or, a card saying, "Just thank you, Mom, because you're my mom," when she least expects it. I think all the moms expect, something on Mother's Day, a phone call, a post on Facebook, whatever it is. Yeah, I know. Nobody uses postcards anymore, cards. It's all Facebook, electronically. I know. But all moms expect that today. But it's nice when you give them something when they don't expect anything. When they least expect to receive flowers in the mail, or, to receive that knock on their door, here, a delivery for flowers. That is when a mother, I think, says, wow, I didn't expect this. My family loves me. Make that a goal, that you honor your mother every day, that you do those little things for her every day. And let me tell you, for the young kids, because this is how my brothers were. When it would be Mother's Day, they were like, I want to give something to Mom. And we would take them to the Dollar Tree and be like, pick something out. Just anything, because they were the type of kids that you take them into the store, like let's say Walmart, and they would go to like the jewelry case and say, I want to get her that. So we would take them to the Dollar Tree and let them pick whatever they wanted. And then they would feel good because they said, oh, I gave her that. They would say, even if it was a teddy bear, they would say, Mom, I gave you that. I picked it for you. But you know what? I think that a mom would also value if you say, you know what, Mom, you sleep in today. We're going to make breakfast today. Or you know what, Mom, don't worry about the dishes. I'm going to wash them. Even though, for me, it was like every day I would always wash dishes. I would always, be after the house and cleaning and, vacuuming. But that came from me, from my heart, that I wanted to help out my mother in that way. But, maybe if you don't do it every day, do it. Take a day and say, you know what, today I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to help out my mom. And I'm going to show her, that I appreciate her. Now, you have to honor those who are like mothers, because we know that there are many mothers that they are mothers not only to their own, but to many. And, at the church over in Houston, all the girls call my mom, Mom. And I tell her, I'm like, well, I'm your only daughter. I'm your daughter. But I joke around with her, but, she says that, now that she isn't there, sometimes she hears them saying, Mom, Mom. And she doesn't pay attention to it because she knows I'm here. But the girls, the youth, call her Mom. And even in front of their own moms. But it's just the appreciation they have for her, because she is so loving and caring, and she's so giving. And, you have to honor those people as well. Those people who look after you, those people who, give more than what they have to give, just to show appreciation for others, that are, willing to care for people who maybe, you know them, they're friends, but you're willing to give that love that you give to your own children to them. And you know what? That's amazing when a person can do something like that. Sometimes, people think about, adoption and things like that. And you're like, but how can you love someone who isn't yours? But there are women who have such a big heart that they have so much love to give, and they're willing to take anybody in and say, you know what? I'll give you the love I give to my children. And we have to honor those people. We have to honor the fathers who are single parents, who have raised their children, who have been a father and a mother to their kids. We have to honor those people. We have to give them thanks, and it's all the time. Amen? But as a mother, we have to demonstrate always the love that Jesus showed us when he was here towards our family, in our household. We have to decide, what type of mother are we going to be? How are we going to influence and impact our children and our generation? How do we want, our generations to come to be? How do we want them to be? We have to take that example that Jesus gave us. Live by that example. When it says here, out of our mouth should come out wisdom. And it's referring to the wisdom from here, not what we think we know. The wisdom from the Bible. And this book is it tells you everything you need to know about life and how to go about every day, how to resolve the issues that come up, how to combat, the teenage rebellion years. It tells you, this is the book. And as a mother, this is what you should refer to every time. You should refer to God, not to, our own understanding and to our customs or what our culture has taught us. We should refer to God for direction, for guidance on how to resolve things. And this morning, I want, because all of us, at one point or another, if our mothers have passed away or we don't have them with us, but we are children because we were born from a mother. And if you have the chance or you have the opportunity or you have your mother still alive, you have her with you, you have to thank God, because there are many people who don't have their mother anymore. There are many people who maybe didn't even get to meet their mother, don't know them, who, how many stories do we hear about mothers passing away at birth, and, they just leave the child, but they give their life for that child. So that child, grows up not knowing their mother. So you and I, who have our mother, who know our mother, should be thankful and should be honored, because that is a blessing from God, because not everybody has that opportunity. And you have to honor God and say, you know what, God, thank you, because you gave me that opportunity. And we should pray for those who don't have that chance. We should ask God, to give them that strength to bless them, amen, with maybe a spiritual mother, to for God to embrace them and to give them that love, and for them to accept that love from Jesus. And this morning, I want everybody to, just meditate and think about, is today the only day that I say, thank you, Mom, I love you, Mom, that I think about my mom, that I'm nice to my mom? Is today the only day? And I want you to think about how you can change that, how you can change that mindset, that thinking of it only being one day or 2 days. I want you to think about, what else can I do to go above and beyond to honor my mother, to honor those who are like a mother, to honor my father who has been a mother as well. I want us all to stand and to bow our heads and to think about what you're going to do differently, what you're going to do to change that mindset of it only being one day. And I want you to remember, all mothers make mistakes, but so do we. Everybody makes mistakes in life. But you can't keep bringing it up. You can't hold a grudge against your mom for something that maybe you didn't like, that happened in the past, that, that they did, if they remarried, if whatever it is. You have to let that go. Because if your mom is here, and if your mom is, honoring God and worshiping God, your mother has been forgiven for that. And you have to forgive her as well. You have to let that go, because God is the only judge. And if he has said you're forgiven, you can't be judging her. You have to let that go. You have to let that out of your heart. What's in the past is in the past. Think about the future and how you're going to say thank you, Mom, every day. What you're going to do for your mother every day. There are people who take years and they don't contact their parents. There are people who only contact their mom on this day, or show any appreciation at all, or anything at all. Don't be like that. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person that, what the last thing you said to your mom was, okay, I have to go, bye. And that was it. And then your mother passed away. And you didn't get a chance to say, Mom, thank you, Mom, I love you. Because you were going to wait until Mother's Day to say that. You don't want to be that person. You want to give thanks and honor that woman who has fought for you, who has done so much for you, who continues to do so much for you and will do even more. You know, you want to give her that honor today, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day. You want to show that appreciation towards her. Let's all pray and ask God to guide you on, what you have to change, what you have to do to show your mother that you appreciate her,